In one sense, that already makes you very fortunate because to be born as a human being carries a rare possibility. The possibility of becoming conscious of life itself, but that possibility only becomes real if life is lived consciously. If life is lived unconsciously, simply repeating the same patterns every day, then this opportunity is missed. Look at how most lives are lived. Every morning begins the same way. One immediately starts moving, thinking about work, responsibilities, plans, worries, ambitions. Then the whole day is spent chasing something, trying to achieve something, trying to become something, trying to secure a better future. And by the time the day ends, you are already preparing for tomorrow to repeat the same movement again. In this way, life slowly becomes a burden, not because life itself is heavy, but because the conditioned mind is constantly running, constantly chasing, constantly trying to become. But there is another way of living, a life where one is fully present to this moment, not lost in past, not constantly projecting into the future, simply aware of what is happening now. When life is lived in this way, something very different is discovered. You begin to see that you are not just the image you have been carrying about yourself. You are not only the name, the body, or the story that has been built over the years. There is something far more alive than that. And this begins to reveal itself only when the mind becomes quiet enough to allow observation. To begin this, it helps to find a quiet place, not because internal silence is magical, but because the world constantly demands your attention. Your work demands attention, your family demands attention, your phone, your responsibilities, your surroundings, all of them keeps the mind moving outward. So stepping into a quieter space simply gives you the opportunity for your attention to not get lost with thoughts. Sit quietly. There is nothing you need to achieve, nothing you need to control. Just begin by observing the movement of your own mind. Notice how thoughts appear. Notice how the mind constantly wants to do something, change something, go somewhere. Even when you sit quietly, the mind may begin planning, remembering, imagining. Just watch this movement. Watching does not imply to just like you understand watching a movie, it's just like observing the internal thoughts coming and going. Do not fight it, do not try to stop it, simply observe. And slowly you begin to see something clearly. Most of what is called life is constant movement of thought chasing something. Even many relationships are built around this movement. People often believe that love is unconditional, but if you look honestly, much of what is called love is based on exchange. Even a newborn child depends completely on the parent for food, care, and protection. So naturally, the child turns towards the parent. But as the child grows and becomes capable of doing things independently, that relationship changes. And many parents feel hurt or confused when the same attention they once received is no longer there. The same pattern appears in desire, the demand for pleasure, for sex, for security, for attraction. The mind begins chasing another person in the hope that fulfillment will be found there. In that chasing, dignity quietly disappears. The movement becomes similar to a puppy chasing a treat. And once attachment is formed, it becomes difficult to step away. When beauty fades or the excitement disappears, the relationship often remains held together by fear, habit, or social pressure. Society may condemn separation. So people may remain together in situations that no longer carry the same life excitement. What seemed like permanent love begins to shift. Fear is replaced about division of property, losing, etc. This is not a criticism of life, it is simply the way conditioned mind functions. But when these natural exchanges are mistaken for something absolute, the mind creates disappointment and conflict. Seeing these things clearly is not meant to make you cynical, it is meant to make you free. Free from illusions, free from expectations that create suffering, and that clarity begins with something very simple: learning to be with yourself, taking responsibility for your own life, cooking your own food, cleaning your own space, looking after your own body, sitting with what is known as boredom. Because the moment boredom appears, the conditioned mind starts searching for someone or something to escape from being with itself. These may seem like ordinary things, but they are the beginning of independence. If a person cannot take care of their own basic needs, they will always remain dependent on others. And dependence keeps the mind trapped in fear, expectation, and control. But when you can live simply, look after your own needs, and observe the movement of your own mind, something begins to change. You are no longer constantly pulled by the world. You begin to stand on your own. And in that independence, the mind becomes naturally quieter. From that quietness, awareness deepens, and in that awareness, something timeless begins to reveal itself. Not something new, not something achieved, but something that was always here, quietly present beneath the noise of mind. And to discover that is perhaps the greatest fortune a human life can have. You will never breathe from these lungs again. You will never experience this life again, so don't waste any more of your time. And bringing your attention to itself, to that which has no name, you require to find a quiet place, not a place where there is more instructions, more teachings, more mental activity, but trying to free from the same mental conditioning so you can discover your true self, know your true self, know that itself which has no name at all. Many names are given: divinity, source, and that itself is shining through everything that you want to achieve. But when that itself recognizes itself, then those things, those people that you want to achieve or be with is already part of that, and you are already part of that. That is why this body, this human form is a holy form, because here you can discover your true self, that which separates for the sake of discovering itself, because without the separation it cannot discover itself. If this page remains the page only, then how this page can ever know what is this page? The same like the source, the existence, this universe, the whole cosmos, if it never separated, then it cannot discover what it was originally. And that separation is mentally conditioning. And that conditioning is illusion, which is also known as Maya. Everything looks real, but it is not. And only when you free your attention and watch your mind's movement, see the thoughts are not produced by you, the air is not produced by anyone, the gravity, the life, the necessities are already here, and you are already present. You don't have to do anything to be in present. You don't have to do any activity to stay in present. All the activities that you are doing is not mentally keeping you in this present moment, in this right now, in this conscious state, fully conscious, fully awake, fully alive. So find a quiet place, even if you have to leave everything that looks so dear to you. But then later on, you will discover that there is no difference between what you see others, that is love itself, but only when you experience. Then that experience itself cannot be named, cannot be defined. Just like you can only experience when you feel the wind, but if you only want to understand how the feeling is, you will not be able to know how that feeling is. But once you experience the wind on your face, you know. That's why experience is absolutely necessary. Then you will understand all the scriptures. You will understand every single word that is worshipped now. They are all pointing to the same thing, to your true self, to the same self which was here millions years before, which is here now, and it will remain forever.